So question 9, for the graph of the function y equals f of x shown to the right, find the absolute maximum and the absolute minimum if they exist. Identify any local maxima or local minima as well. So the absolute maxima is the highest point on the graph. If we look at the graph, there is a high point here. There's a low point, there's a high point, low point, and the highest point. Notice that there's not an absolute high point because the graph approaches infinity. So this graph does not have an absolute maximum. So select the correct answer below if necessary. So the absolute minimum is going to be the lowest absolute point on the graph. So notice that this would be the absolute minimum. Now notice that when we describe the absolute minimum, the x value is where it occurs. The y value is actually the minimum value. So the absolute minimum y equals f of x is going to be, so when x is equal to 0, the absolute minimum is going to be 1. So the 0 is where it happens, and 1 is the actual minimum value. So next question is our local maximum. The local maximum has got to be the interior points. So I can't include the exterior point here on this side here as a local. A local maximum has to be something on the inside. So the only thing on the inside is we have these 3 points here that are the turning points. But notice how where it turns as a high point or a hill, the hill represents our maximums, the valleys represent our minimums. So there is a maximum located at this spot right here. So when x is 2, the actual local maximum is going to be a 4. So when x is 2, f of 2, the local maximum is going to be 4. So the 2 is where it happens. The 4 is actually called the local maximum. The local minimum, notice that there actually are 2 valleys, if you will. There's here and here. So there's actually 2 local minimum. So one of them happens when x is 0. So when x is 0, the local minimum is 1. Another one is when x is 4, the local minimum is 3. So when f of 4 would equal then this 3. So remember, the x value goes inside the parentheses. The y value is what's called the output. So inside, outside. So again, we do have 2 local minimum there. So notice that a local maximum and a local minimum, they can both exist. The catch is local minimum or local maximum have to occur in the interior. They can't be on the edges. Just have to keep that in mind when you do the locals.